Good morning. A couple of weeks ago, Susan and I were able to rent a house near the beach for a couple of weeks. It was a dog-friendly house, so we were able to take Nico, our dog, with us. So there were lots of walks on the beach and along the walkways, beautiful spaces. There was wet weather and cloudy, overcast skies, and some days of brilliant sunshine, a mixture. One morning when the sun burst through, probably for the first time in the morning, we were awake pre-dawn and looked out the window, and the early morning light was just beginning to fill the sky and brighten it. And Susan said, well, get your camera gear and get down on the beach. You want to take photos? So I quickly got dressed and Nico and I ran down onto the beach, walked up and down the beach taking some photos, and walked around to the point, onto the rock platform, and took photos and watched as this sun gradually, the light built through the gentle pinks and oranges to this golden yellow as the sun rose above the horizon. And the brilliant light was reflected all around, across the ocean, on the sand, in the waves, on the vegetation lining the beach, on the rocks and the rock platforms and the headland, in the sky and the clouds. And as the sun came up, we were all just drenched in this golden early morning light. And there was this presence. I felt this sense of being connected with everything, that it wasn't me versus all them or those inanimate objects. I was part of this whole. And this presence was around us and in us and through us and holding us together. A presence of deep wonder and awe, a presence of mystery and love, a presence of light and grace. And this sense of deep peace in this space that we're in this moment, in this time, as this new day began. It was a presence I associate with God, the divine mystery at the heart of all things, the love, the reality behind all reality, the one who holds us in everything. And you could feel this sense of presence. It was like the light holding us and glowing around us and in us and through us. And it was wonderful. And I thought of that as I read this week one of Paul's letters to a church in Colossae, to this newly fledgling group who are struggling. And he says to them, you have experienced this wonder, this grace, this love, this sense of belonging to something bigger than who you are, bigger than you are collectively, bigger than the world. This presence, this being, this one who holds all things in love and grace. You've experienced that. And you're invited into that deeper journey, into that deeper sense of reality, of flourishing together. It's not about you standing aside from others, you over and against others. It's we're all in this together, and it draws us into this community which is one of justice and love and peace and hope. And he goes on, he says, so because you've experienced this, let go of the things that hold you. The things that come to you out of fear, out of a need to be in control, out of the world around you that pushes you into addictive practices or violent practices or greedy practices. Get rid of that sense of greed where everything is about you and you need to hold everything and have more and cling to more. Get rid of the violence that pushes others away or does them harm in words or actions or attitudes. Get rid of the things in your life that cause you shame and angst and create division between you and others. And find this way of love. And when he gets to the end of it, he uses this phrase that is Paul, inChrist. He uses it many, many times in his letters. And for him, It's a sense of being in this mystery, this divine mystery. It's code for him of being in the one who is reality itself, who holds everything, being in the one who is love. And he says, in that presence, all the divisions and things we use to divide one another and judge one another fall away. There are no Jews and Greeks and slaves and masters. In other places he talks about male and female and rich and poor, and we're all one. We're not all the same. We all bring diversity of gifts and skills and experience, but we're all one. In Christ, in God, in this divine mystery, we are loved and beloved, children of this God who is in us and through us and around us. And he goes on, he says, Christ, this God, this mystery is in all things, and all things are in Christ. And what he's saying is everything exists in this eternal wonder, this eternal mystery, this eternal love that is at the heart of everything. Everything exists within it, has its being, has its life and breath and being. And that love, that divine love is in everything. If for Paul it's like Christ, the word Christ is a code word for the blueprint, the DNA, the divine DNA in everything that's expressed and experienced in the wonders and the beauty and the diversity of all of the earth and the universe beyond. And all of it is held in love by God, who invites us into this journey of love, which will bring about this dream of God for everyone, which is about grace and love, peace, belonging, rather than violence and fighting and hatred. In Luke's story of Jesus this week, he tells a story of a man, a rich man, and in his day, people became wealthy by creating indebtedness in others, the poorer people. And when there was enough debt, they claimed their land, the only thing that they owned of worth that sustained them and their family. This rich man has many lands, and he has many crops, and he has a good season, and the crops bear much fruit. And so he fills his barns with the grain. And there's too much, so he builds more, and he's got more, and he's accumulated more, and it's all his. And look at it. And Jesus says, but what does he gain having all this grain? For tonight he dies. And Jesus is inviting us into this deeper way. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to live? What does it mean to really flourish in life? Is it about accumulating more and more, having more, owning more, having more power or control? Is it about competing with others and keeping them at a distance? Or is it about relationship and compassion and justice, of everyone having enough and everyone being in this community of love and grace and being able to flourish in life? And not just humans, but the whole of the earth and its creatures. It's a big vision, and one that our world needs deeply. Paul invites us into this way that he's experienced, this way of grace, of love, of presence. And on that beach that morning, I felt this presence. And as we walk some of the paths and tracks along Toongabbie Creek, and the sun shines through the trees, and I stop and breathe in and see in awe and wonder this beauty. When I stop and listen and look and allow myself to be, I sense that presence still there around me everywhere, connecting me and the earth and its creatures and other people. And I know that I exist and I'm loved. I'm loved by the love at the heart of all things. And that's the invitation of Paul and of Jesus and of many others. Will you receive this life, this flourishing life that God offers? Amen.